Hello, everybody, and welcome into Texas versus Oklahoma postgame show. Texas beats down Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl. 3 out of the last 4 years, Texas has not allowed a touchdown versus Oklahoma. That needs to be talked about more. We'll get into that later. How are you guys doing today? Obviously, really good. Hopefully, jump in the comments, let us know. And let's just jump right into it. The good, because there was a lot of it in this game. And I'll start out above me. Josh, what do you think about the good today?
Yeah, a lot of good things that happened today. I want to give credit to this team. There was a lot of noise this week. The Athletic dropped an article on Arch Manning calling him a flop. Everyone besides the Athletic was just all over this team, and they showed resiliency. It wasn't always pretty. It was 3-6 at halftime. Your offense was sputtering. It wasn't playing well. Penalties, pressure on the quarterback. But then the second half, the game plan, it almost felt like they twitched it up a little bit more, and this offensive line got more physical. I thought this was a much better day for the defense as well. Multiple turnovers, 5 sacks on the day, 7 tackles for losses. I thought there was constant pressure on the quarterback, and I thought Arch Manning did his job. I don't think he was, Colt McCoy, Vince Young out there, but I thought he made some really nice throws. That third down play in his own end zone was brilliant. Made some plays out of the system and out of the schedule, and I thought he just did a really nice job. Trey Wisner had a bounce-back day too. So all in all, just really positive day for the Texas Longhorns.
Brandon?
Absolutely, Josh. The good. I'm gonna start with Arch because Arch took a beating last week, and it didn't phase him in a way that it should for a quarterback that young to get hit on. That, and to Josh's point, he just made the plays. Like, I thought he controlled the game in a way that suited his play style. And then when he needed to be a 5-star Manning, he was a 5-star Manning, making off-schedule throws, throwing across his body, like stuff that you don't like to see at the quarterback position. But he's a gifted passer, and he was making some complex plays look hard. And then when he needed to make layups, he made layups. So it was, to me, this was his best game. Granted, stat-wise, it wasn't like amazing. It was efficient. 21-27, 166 passing yards, 1 touchdown, no picks, 34 yards rushing. Like, you can't beat that in terms of just being very efficient. And the D-line, interior D-line, they stepped up today. Like, after last week, I was so hard on them because they didn't show up to me. They were out of their gaps. Like, the defense in whole played very bad versus the run. They stepped up and they contained that run game. They contained the quarterback from breaking the pocket like he loves, and they got turnovers. When this defense gets turnovers, we can play with anybody when that defense plays like that. And really big shout out to the physicality they showed, because last week versus Florida, I said it time and time again, they were the nail, not the hammer. This week, they were delivering blows. They were finishing most tackles, but it was, to me, that was the biggest difference in the game. Just our physicality up front on both sides actually was the difference in the game. So kudos to them.
Yeah, and I think when we talk about the good and we talk about Arch Manning, I thought Arch Manning, we talked about it against Ohio State, right? Like, if Arch hits the layups, Texas wins that game. Arch hit the layups today, Texas wins the game. But I as someone who was hypercritical, I channeled my B. Ross last week against the offensive line and gave them an F. Actually, I gave them a drop out of the class is what I gave them last week. The offensive line showed up this week, right?
Yeah,
they gave up 6 sacks, 8 hurries last week. They had 1 sack and 2 hurries this week. And I don't even know if the sack was all on them, right? Like, that was what we needed from this unit. Not just but the amount, like, there was a spot where Trey Wisner was running for, like, it was a 3rd and short, and he hesitated unnecessarily because he wasn't used to the offensive line getting that much push. Like, he was not used to them giving him 4 or 5 yards. We, like, unnecessarily took a hesitation step, and I'm like, buddy, just run forward, right? The offensive line was more physical, and they leaned on Oklahoma when Texas needed to get it done. When Texas needed to have long drives to get things going, Texas was picking up 4 or 5 yards a carry. The line was pushing that, and I went into this week not expecting the Texas offensive line to be any good. Oklahoma, we thought coming in that they had one of the elite defensive line units in the country, and they still might, but Texas's offensive line showed up in a major way, and that to me is a differentiator, because if Texas can run the ball really well, the offense looks much better, and Arch can read the offense and be the quarterback Texas needs him to be.
Yeah, two guys that I want to shout out. Malik Muhammad. I think there's a gigantic difference when he's in the football game for multiple reasons, and he showed that today. 2 interceptions, really good in run support, sure tackler, and that's another thing too. I think the team as a whole tackled so much better today. I think they might have missed one tackle that I can think of. There might have been a couple at the end too, where a 3rd and 20 and Oklahoma ran a screen. But other than that, when the game mattered and it was close, they didn't miss any tackles. Whereas last week, it was a missed tackle fest. Like, we're talking back to the Tom Herman, early Steve Sarkisian days where you're missing 10 tackles a game. We saw nothing like that in this game. And then Trey Wisner, the first time all year where he looked explosive. Like, I thought he was running through mud, quicksand, whatever you want to call it last week. Not the case this week. So I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he's completely healed. I don't know if the drugs they gave him hit different this week, but it was really good running by him. Really excited to see what he can do. And then Nick Brooks too. I'll shout him out because that first drive, oh my God, was it brutal. The first 5 plays and he blew up 3 of them. Like, he ruined 3 plays. And then from there on out, he was fine. So he settled in the game nicely. He performed well. And that's what I need from this team overall. I don't need the offense to be special. I need the offense to get me 20 points a game. If you can give me 20 points a game with this defense, you're going to be in every football game, especially this year. There are no elite offenses around college football. You can look around college football. There's not one that's like, yeah, that offense every week's just going to put up 30-plus points. It doesn't exist. So can this offense, keep ahead of the chains, get 20 points, not commit stupid penalties? You do that, Texas will be in every game they play from here on out.
And the penalties on the offensive line, right? We got on them last week. You mentioned the young guy, right? Like, he had multiple penalties last week. Texas had, I think, 1 offensive lineman flagged for a penalty, and it was a false start in 2. A holding and a false start. Yeah,
holding false start.
But again,
all in one drive.
Compared to 9, what was it last week? Like, night and day.
Big shout out to Brandon Baker. I didn't hear his name called.
Gosh.
He played one of the he played his best game since Ohio State. He was clean with his feet, with his hands. Timing was good. And for us running so much outside zone, that's a higher chance to get a lot more holding calls just because the ball usually hits outside. So big shout out to him because I've been really tough on him just in terms of what I expect for the talent that I think he is. So again, just the entire O-line. I mean, once they settled down to Matthew's point, they were just clean. They were moving people. They were physical. They were nasty. So,
yeah, on the right side, I thought DJ Campbell played a really nice game too. There's a couple plays where he was just pushing people away, just putting them in the dirt. I want to give credit to Steve Sarkisian. A lot of flack has gone his way to the OC portion of his game. I thought he caught a great one today, just getting the ball out of Arch's hands quickly. It got a little annoying with all the screens he was calling, but you could sort of understand where he was, kind of coming from. But he got the ball out of Arch's hand early. He changed up the run scheme a lot. I mean, just it's been so many inside zone out of shotgun. This time he went under center. We saw some outside zone. We just saw a lot more creativity in the run game, which I thought was fun. And I just thought in general he caught a really sharp game. Even in the red zone, I know that we get angry at some of the play calls he does run. He did have a guy wide open on that play that Arch just didn't hit. So I thought this was maybe Steve Sarkisian's best called game of the year so far. So shout out to him. Also shout out to the Pete Kwiatkowski too. He called a brilliant game versus John Mateer.
Yeah, I think he blitzed way more than he normally does. Like, he said, you know what? We're going to bring the onus to them. We're going to bring the fight to them. And Gerald's 100% right. Like, before we came in here, we talked about whoever brings the fight in these games wins. Like, that's just the case. Whoever brings the fight early and shows it the most throughout the game wins this football game. It's an emotional football game. And I think PK finally realized that. And you saw, it was – I mean, I would love to know, what percent he blitzed because it's a lot higher than normal. Normally, he's sitting back in zone, letting everything – happen slowly. He'll take 3 to 4 yards by the offense, and if they want to go down the field that way, that's fine. But he's like, no, we're coming at you this game. And John Mateer looked completely lost. He made a lot of bad decisions, and I think a lot of that has to go to PK because he said, you know what? You're not sitting back there and getting to read the whole time. You're going to have to make quick and accurate decisions, and he did not do that.
That's 100% correct. He forced the issue. He made a quarterback process with pressure in his face, and okay, who you are, that's so hard to do. And John Mateer, being who he is, he thinks he can make every throw, buy time with his feet, and we have the speed on the edge to contain him. And then our big guys did a good job when we ran stunts, getting upfield and keeping him in the pocket. and he's not comfortable there. So everything from the run game to the pressure on third down to what they ran up front was like, I mean, chef's kiss good. And then big shout out to those guys. They executed at a very high level because last week's game plan actually wasn't bad when you watch it. They didn't execute. They didn't tackle. They didn't finish plays. So, you know, it's hand in hand where you want to blame coaching, but then when you look at it, it's like, if you guys just make these plays, we actually probably, you know, game's probably different. But this week, it was no gray areas. They finished plays and executed, and everyone just did their job. Outside of Jelani McDonald dropping a pick six, it was like it was such a clean game on both sides of the ball. And that's what I was talking about earlier in the year. When I talk about efficiency, that was an efficient game. Pass game, run game, complement each other, and the offensive defense complement each other. And then you get a big return on special teams. Shout out to Neblett because he caught it, got vertical, and the blocks just came. It was just a big wall. Like that's the efficient game that Texas has to play in order to beat good quality football teams.
Yeah, I want to give a credit to Colin Simmons, 2.5 sacks, 2.5 tackles for losses, 5 total tackles. I thought Anthony Hill was just superb tackling today. I mean, there was multiple times where it was one-on-one and he has to go out there and make a play. He made several of them. Jelani McDonald had a missed tackle as well. So if there was a negative, I guess I'd give, you know, Jelani a little bit of some flack for the missed tackle and the dropped pick six. But yeah, there's not a lot of negatives today. This was a very positive day for the Longhorns.
B-Ross, I'm glad you brought up the punt because I was also very mean to Jeff Banks last week, and this was a redemption game for that special teams unit. Like they looked good, and you know I got called some names on Twitter because I said that Texas made the right choice kicking that long field goal, but like the special teams unit today I think was good even with those misses because you see now the leg that your kicker has, right? Like that those two, on any other day, I think both those field goals go in, and we're looking at a different situation. So, like, I was very mean to Jeff Banks last week. We need to shout him out as well because the special teams was a plus for Texas.
We both were. I said he was number one hit list of guys that probably, if we're talking someone needs to be fired, it was him. But the other thing too, Brandon, you were talking about the execution. What could we not do last week? We could not set the edge at all. And what did we do at an elite level this week? We set the edge. And you know what the issue was? The funny thing is, the 2 times they got outside, they held on both of them. Like that's how it should look. And I just don't understand what happened last week with this defense. Like if they played like they did today, as bad as the offensive line was, we still beat Florida. So like defense, I just need this effort, this execution from here on out. We're good.
And that's the crazy thing about, and like I always have to remember, like these are still kind of like kids. Like they're big, they're fast, but like they're kids who make mistakes because I've been on the other side of that thing where like people like, oh, like you have to set the edge, like, yeah, or I can try and make the play. And they were trying to make plays last week. When you really like break down the game, they were hesitant and they weren't doing their job. But this week, again, it was so simple. Set the edge, stay in your gap, make tackles. That's how you stop the run. It's big runs happen because missed tackles, missed gap assignment, not setting the edge. No edge, no chance. It's that simple. And when we do it, I don't think like it's too many teams that could like really do anything on us because we can cover, we can create pressure. Like it's like we're a really good team when we do just the little things, especially in the run game. But Banks, I wasn't mad at him. I was mad at the 3 guys he had back there because I watched it. He is, everyone knows in protection, you block inside out. He jumped out and got a guy who would never get to the point. So I gave him grace last week, but had we had anything go wrong this week, hey, your ass is out of here. But that's, I mean, I don't have too much like negative. This was the cleanest game they played all year. Top to bottom, even the penalties. Like we cut down on so many penalties. Sark wasn't super aggressive on 4th down. I was like, he was just like, to me, he called the game the way he needed Arch to play the game. Just he did this was his best job managing the actual game. Yep, top to bottom.
It didn't have to be that aggressive because of how well the defense was playing. Like,
exactly.
Complimentary football.
That's what I was going to say. How many deep shots do we have today? Zero. Because you don't need to
none.
push the ball down the field needlessly. All you have to do is move the chains with this offense and the defense you have. That's all that is required with this team.
Yep. And those big shots will come because we'll get CJ back. We'll get better in the run game. I love that he used arch legs to close out that last drive. Granted, I was saying on the first or second red zone trip, that's what we should have been doing. Like it clearly causes problems that people forget that this kid can run and he's big and fast. Like, so, but yeah, like if we just play complimentary football like that, take what teams are giving us and then force the issue on defense where we're more talented and more stable, where we can be more aggressive, we're actually a pretty good football team.
Can I raise a question about Oklahoma real quick? Would they have been better off just playing Hawkins? Because I think Mateer hurt them significantly today. He was terrible.
I think it would have looked the exact same because I think what I saw for today from Mateer is exactly what Hawkins is. Like, I don't think it's – I mean, we saw it last year. What was it, 34-3 last year with Michael Hawkins? This team John Mateer is good, but the problem is whenever he's required to do more than he needs to, he messes up. Like, he can't react the way he needs to react after about 2.5 seconds. If he doesn't make a play in the first 2.5 seconds, it's over because he's going to throw a ball he should not throw. I saw that in the Michigan game. Michigan dropped 2 to 3 interceptions in that game. We caught them today. We could have had 4 or 5. Like, we dropped 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
I'm not like always the one to toot my own horn, but like Mateer has been a turnover merchant that just people didn't want to buy them for a very long time. Like I thought I was taking crazy pills this summer when folks were hyping him up. Like, look at his stats against P5 teams last year. He was trash can water. And so like I don't know if the turnovers obviously made a difference in the game, but Texas didn't score on any of them. So I don't know if that was a difference. Like the defense just got stopped. The defense just played well.
The turnovers took points off their board more than helped us out. Because they would have been able to kick up a few more points. I don't know if they would have scored any touchdowns, though. It would have just been more field goals probably. But I just think if you put Hawkins in there, he doesn't throw 3 picks, but he's probably a lot more 3 and outs more than anything. But yeah, I mean, because Hawkins wasn't even that good last week. I mean, he was like, what, 50% completion percentage, something like that?
Yeah, 57%, I think, versus Kent State.
Well, the issue is with them is they can't run the football. If against anybody, if John Mateer isn't running for 80+ yards a game, that offense is stagnant because nothing opens up. They don't have RPO game. They don't have a screen game. They have athletes, but the O-line really in pass pro, if the run game isn't there, isn't that good. So, no, they
would have been
better
runs.
off, but not really.
That's it.
Yeah. And then everything outside of that got called back. So
the big Mateer run got called back, and
that
one killed them. I mean, that was the backbreaker for them because they were getting some momentum on that drive.
That was their chance. Yeah,
that was their chance.
For sure.
Yeah.
I have a question. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
Well, because somebody mentioned it earlier, where do we go in the rankings now? We just beat the number 6 team in the country.
My response to that is I literally could give what, because we were ranked number 1 and fell out. I do not care where we're ranked. I don't. Tell me what we're ranked at the end of the year. I do not care about the rankings right now. I just don't.
I'll say 19, 20. That's my guess.
I think, I mean, one, I'm with Matthew that like I'm not necessarily caught up in it, but I think it's, I think somewhere in the 15 to 20 range, like somewhere in that range feels appropriate. But again, it's Texas has a razor thin margin and they've really just got to worry about themselves at this point, right? Like this is just a worry about the 85 guys in that locker room and don't worry about anything else. Like that's
absolutely
close ranks and get it done.
Yep. You got one SEC loss. Just keep it pushing.
I honestly hope we're not ranked. I hope they're like,
quarterback
was hurt. Because this team needs to earn it more. Like go and earn that respect from voters, from everybody. And to Gerald's point, like celebrate this win, worry about everyone in that locker room, and get on to Kentucky and keep the main thing the main thing. But hopefully I hope they say, still getting votes. That's perfect.
Yeah. Well, they were close to making the top 25 this week. So they're definitely going to be on the top 25 now.
That was wild to me that we were like on 27th. I was like, okay, what are we doing? Listen, it should be, I love Texas. That after that Florida game, they should have been nowhere near the top 25. They should have been able to sniff the top 25. By the way, Penn
everybody
State
sucks this year.
Well, Penn State sucks. Then you got teams that with like 3 losses who are beating teams with 4 wins. Like it's college football is actually in a good place, and it's actually due to the portal. As crazy as it sounds.
Sorry to cut you off, B-Ross. Do you guys think it's possible that a 2-loss SEC team like makes it to the SEC championship game?
I think a 3-loss team is going to get in the playoff from somewhere. I don't know who it's going to be, but I think a 3-loss team will get in the playoff.
I
absolutely
think we have to go a certain way. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's possible. It's crazy.
We could very well be in a situation where both Texas and Texas A&M have multiple losses going into that game, and it's still a play-in for the SEC championship. Very likely to happen.
I mean, I think it could repeat to be what it was last year. That's exactly what it was. They had 3 losses. We had 2 at that time or 1, and whoever won got into the SEC championship game. So that could definitely happen again.
Yeah, it's a loaded conference, but like it doesn't help that like the rest of college football is just as crazy.
Drunk.
Like Penn State went from number 3 in the country to unranked now.
Like, leaving James Franklin on the tarmac.
Yeah.
There's only like 2 elite teams this year, and even elite is very loosely termed.
I think there's
Ohio State, Miami. That'd be the only one.
I don't even know if they're elite.
Ohio State went 14-7 with this Texas team that we wanted to fire.
Ohio State is
true, but it's week 1.
Elite on defense.
Yeah,
very elite.
Defense,
very
they
elite,
are elite. Like Matt Patricia got them guys playing out of their mind. Offensively, they can't with the best receiver in the country. They can't piss a drop. They couldn't hit water on the side of a boat and then let's be honest, until they play, I would say Penn State, but until they play Michigan, that's the next test, right?
They don't play Oregon this year.
Nope.
They have Indiana this year, maybe.
No, they don't play them either.
So,
it's the Big Ten championship.
Boom, and then like when we talk about elite, it's like I don't think any team is elite. Miami's good, but
who'd they beat? They beat Notre Dame.
They beat
Notre Dame and
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame and who they beat?
Florida,
LSU,
and Florida State.
Yeah,
they beat Florida and Florida State.
I do think Miami probably does have the best combination of defensive line and offensive line. I think that's the one thing I'm like, okay, that's very good, but I don't know if I trust Carson Beck. Like, we'll see what happens there. I think he's good. I don't think he's anything special.
I still don't trust him. Like, if I had to put money on like the best team, I would pick Bama right now.
Yeah, I might too. They have the best quarterback.
He's balling right now.
Helps. It always helps to have the best quarterback.
Let's move over to the bad. I'll start out with this one. Josh, I think you nailed the only guy to me, Jelani McDonald. You had, I believe, 2 penalties. One was at the end on what was that, a kick or punt return, where he got a personal foul for
punt return,
someone's helmet off.
Fighting,
kick return, one of them.
And then you drop a pick 6 where if you catch that, you could literally just walk into the end zone.
Yeah.
So he dropped the pick on 1st down, then got the penalty on 4th down. This was like, bro,
he had a bad missed tackle too.
Yes, that's what he tried to make up for it by trying to go get it again and then completely missed, and the guy went for 25 yards. That was like the only positive play of the second half for Oklahoma, and it was caused by that. So I think like that's literally the only player I'm like, you know what, you didn't have a good game. Everyone else I thought played a really good football game.
I'll throw it's not necessarily his fault, but I would like to see the tight ends be used more. They tried getting them going in the first half. And then by the second half, they just kind of abandoned it. Like Jack Andrews only had 2 catches. Jordan Washington had 1 catch. Just, I don't know, a little nitpicky.
I think my only bad that I can think of is just like as a team, and I think offensively, like the slow start, I think is still something that like I don't know what it is, but like that slow first quarter, we've seen it bite Texas in the Keister before. Like that to me is still something that like it looms over me on Saturday mornings. Like, can Texas come out the gate and look good? Because 74 yards in the first half. Neither team looked great offensively, but like I'm glad that they adjusted and got things going in the third quarter. But ultimately, like that slow start, like we've got to figure out. Sark and his staff have got to figure out how to get this team firing on all cylinders right out of the gate, because that is something that I think continues to nag at me.
I'm with you 1,000%. I was gonna say the same thing, but looking at it, and it kind of bothers me that we don't do it more. We're really good when we push the tempo. Like in the second half, that's what got us going offensively.
Yep.
Even versus Florida in the second half, when we had to push the tempo to move the ball to beat the clock, we were very efficient in terms of how we move the ball. The D-line gets tired, so it's less chances that your guys get beat. There's less chances of holding because they are exhausted because the tempo is being pushed. And it kind of bothers me that within the script of the first 15 of the opening drive, we don't just come out and say, okay, regardless of how this first play goes, or we hand it off, we get 4 to 5. Let's get back on the ball, push the tempo. Granted, they're fresh, but you still push the tempo, like push the issue and be the aggressor. So that would be my only like kind of bad thing, because once we did in the second half, Trey Wisner start averaging, 6-7 yards a pop. Like he's like before he's getting touched, he's at 6-7 yards. Just like, well, why don't we do this, to like start the game? Granted, I did love how we started the game with the screen, easy throw, get the quarterback going. But then to me, we should have got on the ball, ran it. It was 2nd and 5, but instead we call the play. Brooks get a false start, I think.
Yep.
Then the next play gets a holding or holding, false start, whichever order. But it's like, don't give them time to think. Not even your own guys. Play fast, keep it simple. And when we do that, it just seems like we're like way better. And like Arch seems to thrive in the fact that, okay, I have to process a little bit faster, but I like the tempo. Like he seems to play better when things are kind of like sped up. So just like play to what we're kind of good at.
You mentioned Arch processing. That reminded me. I need Steve Sarkisian to rip every under center play out of his playbook and throw it in the trash. At least until Arch is gone. Like, I don't know what it is about Arch, especially running play action under center. The worst plays of the game. There was a drive where Texas actually like overcame a first down sack, which happened on a play action out of time. Like under it is just not something he's comfortable with. It's not something that he thrives under. Like, just get rid of it. Like, I know you want to run play action. I know you want to, but like, run it out of pistol. Run it out. Like, just have him take 3 steps back and run it out of pistol. And he looks so much better doing it. Like, that to me is something that's a lot of these guys, because they don't take snaps on their center anymore. Like from little leagues, even in college, like 99% of your snaps are pistol and shotgun. So when you put a guy under center, he can do it, but like the mechanics and footwork and the timing gets messed up because it's all predicated on timing from the fake and the O-line. Is it full slide? And just so much is predicated on like the timing. Whereas in pistol, he can correct things because he can see it. He can, okay, I can fix it. When your back is turned because you're doing a play fake, you don't know what's going on. So now you have to kind of, because had he ran that first down play or second down play with the play action to Parker Livingstone where he didn't hit him, he didn't throw it because by the time he got his shoulder around, the safety was already coming. So he can't like he could have probably enforced it, but had he just been a pistol and you keep his eyes there the whole time, now it's fake and rip. And that's what to me, like, he's really good at that. When he can just come out and just throw in the tight window, he's pretty good at it. So I'm with you, Gerald. Pistol, shotgun. That's all I want to see from here on out. Pistol, gun.
Hey, I've been begging for that after the UTEP game. Like, why are we running anything from under center? Like, I don't.
You did call
it was the touchdown. He missed the touchdown because of that. If we run, like you said, we run it out of pistol or shotgun, that's a touchdown. He's not missing it. And it's still there's two things. We didn't stick to it, and I'm glad we didn't. But he was running way too many screens at the beginning of the game. We are not. We don't have the athletes at the offensive line position to get out and block those well, and we don't have the athletes catching the ball either. So that we cannot be running. Like, I was fine with it early on. If you want to show them that and then adjust, fine. But I'm just glad he didn't do it the rest of the game, because I would have lost my what if he kept doing that throughout the whole game. And get Arch on the move. A lot of that stuff still wasn't on the move because of Sark. It was on the move because Arch wanted to be on the move. So get him out of the pocket a little bit more of the time. That's my two things where I'm like, just do that and we'll be good.
I do agree that we should be a lot we should do a lot less under center, but I'll kind of disagree a little bit here. I think that we should still do it, but maybe do it when you know you can operate it. I think the issue right now is when you want to go under center, a lot of time you're trying to do more power. And I think Texas has an issue running power out of pistol or shotgun. We're much better in zone going outside in that situation. But if you want to become a power football team like you need to do in the SEC, I don't necessarily hate the idea of going under center, because there was a couple runs where we got under center, we got the ball out, 4 or 5 yards, just pushing the pile a little bit. And I think we have the guys up the middle, especially on that left side with Nick Brooks, who I think work better in that situation. So I don't think we should completely tear it out, but I do agree that we should probably not run it when the game is close. I think, if we go against Kentucky and we run them out of the water, we beat them up pretty big, I would like to see us maybe do it occasionally, because realistically speaking, exactly. Put it on tape and then get Arch more comfortable not having everything in front of him, having to be able to process a little bit faster, because that's something he has to continue to improve on. And I do think that it can be a part of your system, but I wouldn't do it early in games when it's still competitive. But for sure in like the third or fourth quarter, if you're up double digits, maybe throw it out there here and there to put on tape.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like when we used it, it was either second, third and short, or P and 10. So like first and 10 coming out of the punt, like we'll be under center. It's kind of like he was setting something up. That's why in certain situations he'll run it from and that's what I think he was trying to set up at some point. But then it was the drive you were talking about, Matthew, or maybe it was you, Gerald, where we overcame like a bad first down because we ran a screen and we lost the yards. And we ended up like getting back and getting the first, but it was like, okay, all right, this is enough. Let's just do what works right now, and we'll fix all this other stuff later. But I mean, honestly, like I'm nitpicking. Like I thought this was the best game he called. And it was pretty impressive. We didn't throw the ball downfield a lot. That was you know what I mean? Like that, like how hard it is to like move the ball, and your quarterback is literally just, and to Archer's point, he didn't force any throws to me. All of his throws were like good timing, good ball placement, always gave you a chance to line back up again. This was the cleanest game by far. So not too much bad, honestly.
Two attempts longer than 15 yards in this one.
I love it.
Oh, hey.
I love it. That's winning football.
So I have a bad when it comes to, I feel bad for this guy, but he'll be transferring at the end of the year. Jared Gibson. Like, he's clearly in the doghouse. That dude will never play another significant down with Texas, in my opinion.
I was going to say that James Simon was our RB2 this game. It's so clear and obvious that Sarkisian trusts James Simon. And I don't know, was Christian Clark healthy in this game? Because I don't think I saw him out there at all.
I think he got one or two carries, I was going to say. Not much.
Okay. Yeah, poor Jared Gibson. Yeah, I think Jared Gibson's talented. And I do think Jared Gibson is just in the wrong system. I don't think this is a good system for what his strengths are, which is power football. Yeah. He could be that guy that you can run, under center, but Texas is not going to be doing that 15, 20 times a game. And Jared Gibson, hopefully he sticks it out, but he had a rough couple plays there.
Yeah. Like he's built to run power and counter, to your point, straight downhill. And like, to your other point is like, that's not what we do. We hit the perimeter, we stretch people horizontally and vertically, and everyone gets the ball. Like we don't have a high volume guy where he's going. Trey Wisner is, but in a perfect world, he doesn't get as many carries as he's got today because he splits them with CJ Baxter. You know what I mean? So Jared Gibson, honestly, he's the odd man out of a really good backfield, and his play style and the way he runs really doesn't fit what Texas really wants to do.
He's still a young player though. We give him a chance. Would you, or do you just
Derek Cooper's taking that job easily next year?
So you got some guys coming in. It's like, all right.
Yeah, when next year Trey Wisner's gone, Baxter probably returns because of injuries again, so he's probably back. And Baxter be your RB1, Simon your RB2, Christian Clark. It's tough. It's gonna be a stack.
You think Trey Wisner's leaving after this year?
Yeah, I don't know if he's leaving.
They make too much money. He's coming back.
He's a talented back. I think you guys would be surprised. I think he'd go round 4, I'd say. He'd get drafted.
Exactly. Go back to school, make how play.
He's probably
And
making
then you risk
more.
injury. That'd be
$1.5
my
million?
concern. Well,
But-
if I can get into the league and have a role, then go back to Texas and risk injury.
I
But
think
if he
the question
returns, hell yeah.
is he a guy? My question is he a guy who is a 2 contract in the league guy? Because those are the guys that leave early, right? If you're a guy who's going to get a second contract in the league, then you leave early. If you're not, like, which there's no shame in the game in that, like, stay home, make $1.5 million at Texas, be the big man in Austin.
I'm the
Weissner's
biggest Trey Weissner hater on any Texas show, so
he's got
I'm
the
not
size.
gonna him too
He's
much.
got the patience. He's a good receiving back. I don't know if he's a 3-down back per se, but I think there'd be some teams interested in him, especially with his style of play and the workload he's done for Texas these past few years and the leadership element. You can't go wrong with the Texas running back because Texas running backs have been very successful. And so, yeah, I think
he's just too inconsistent for me. Like last week, where was this? I know the offensive line was bad, but there's anytime he touched the ball again, it looked like he was just stuck. Like it didn't look like he could explode at all.
Coming off
an injury, running in the mud last week.
Yeah, coming off an injury, playing in the wet, terrible offensive
true.
line. I'll give him some slack with that one. He had a great game versus Ohio State. I thought he was great in this one. I mean, I think he gets drafted, but he'd have to keep up the level of play.
So Bryce the Goat put in the chat the kicking as something that
I didn't think it was bad.
in the bad. And that's something I want to talk. Like I just want to get it in the conversation. Like, was the kicking bad? You missed 2, but it was for 55 and 56, right? Like
6.
Do you want to get those
in a perfect world? Absolutely, right. But like, if you look, so like, I don't know if any of you golf, but if you golf, his first one, that's why it started so far out. He drew it too far out, and it comes in and hits the inside of the post, doinks it, right? So then, as a bad golfer myself, I try to fix my swing, right? So he tried to fix his kick, but this one he pops up and leaves it 3 yards short. But it was more than good enough. Had he just hit his first shot and drew it out, and it would have hit right down the middle. So that's a golfing and kicking are a direct correlation because like it's such a unique act like of athleticism. So I think the kicking will be fine because he bounced back and he hit the kicks that we needed him to hit. Like now, had he missed, like had he gone 1 for 4 today and missed the chip shots inside of 50, yeah, we got a big problem. But you missed 2 long ones. I mean, of course you want to make them, but I'm not too concerned. Long term, at least.
Matthew's kind of brought this up the past few weeks where we didn't really know who he was. I think now we kind of know a little bit. Like he's not going to be consistently hitting 50-yarders, but anything within 45, it's probably going to be good. So as long as he's consistently making those and then occasionally we'll hit a 50-yarder, then I'm not too mad at him for this one. He, like what B. Ross said, he's shown that he can hit it over 50 yards. It's just right now he's got to find it right now.
He has to find his groove. Like kickers and shooters are kind of the same. Once they kind of find their groove and their timing, he'll be fine. And he missed, I think, 1 on the right hash, 1 on the left hash. So, hopefully he can hit those. But ideally, if we needed a 50-yard kick, hopefully we just got the ball down the middle because his leg is plenty strong, I think. I don't think the strength is an issue. I think just he misjudged some things, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what to do because kicking is hard. So hope he fixes it though.
Yeah, I mean the 55-yarder, like I thought he could have hit it from 60. Honestly, like he had enough leg strength, he just didn't hit it right. So yeah, and that's the thing. That's why I begged, like, could we kick some of these versus San Jose State and UTEP to figure out what we actually have? But no, let's throw him in a Red River and have him kick a 55-yard field goal to see if he can.
That part, because he's probably out there like, okay, all right. First 50-yard attempt of the year, biggest rivalry. Okay, and he doinked it. It's kind of like, oh man, shucks. Then he was like,
and he almost bounced it in, like it was on the inside of it, like it was on the inside of the upright.
That's what I'm saying. Like he is. I'm not worried yet.
No,
that's what I will say. I'm more worried about guys who can't hit inside of 50. That's concerning.
Cough, Bird Auburn.
Oh my gosh.
You really?
Jesus.
Miami
SEC champions last year,
right?
Yeah, the U, baby, the backup kicker for the
U. I saw that. I was dying. I felt bad for the guy because he was really good in 2023, but
yeah,
my gosh, the
all
fall
Big
off was
12.
crazy.
The fall off was real.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's a super mental thing. Like, I was a Colts fan back in the day, and Mike Vanderjagt was one of the best. Then after he missed that one kick in the playoffs, boom, downhill the rest of his life.
He's out the league.
It just happens.
In 2 years after that.
Yeah.
You're right. So, well, that's why I said, like, I'm glad he bounced back and made those other kicks because, like, it doesn't take much for a guy to go in the tank and have the yips.
Yep.
It does not take much.
We saw it at the quarterback position.
Yeah. Yeah, I still like think about what we watched today and even versus Florida, and then go back and watch the Ohio State game now. What the hell? What was he thinking? I really don't know.
It's been a roller coaster.
What was going on in his brain.
If the Arch Manning of today shows up week 1, Texas wins that game, right? Like
Texas is still number 1.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But that's the growing pains of having a young guy. But I will say the thing that is most impressive is one, his poise and toughness, because he's not rushing throws. Like he was rushing them with clean pockets early on in the season. Whereas now he's taking a legit beating and still not rushing his throws, or he's not, like he's playing more poise and more calm. So is that, and his mechanics overall, like even when he's like throwing some sidearm stuff across his body, his feet and hips are all like centered and all together. Like he looks very comfortable. So like to your point, Gerald, if we got this guy week 1, it'd been great. But to see his growth, especially through the early valleys where it's like, okay, is he even good enough? Whereas now it's like, oh, okay, he's good enough. It's just he has to play a certain game right now. He has to be a game manager. Yes, he has to mature into a Heisman candidate. Right now, he is B-
a
first-year starter.
Yeah, like and that's okay. Like it's okay for him to rely on the run game, rely on a good defense, and like I said in the group chat, until we need him to be a 5-star, like that 3rd and 7 backed up, he don't just take the check down. What did Trey Wiseman do with a ball 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage?
Yeah,
that's a win. Even if he wouldn't have got it, it's a win because our defense is playing lights out. We have a really good defense. So as long as he's sticks to that, I think he'll be just fine. And like those 300-yard games and 4 passing touchdown games, they will be coming. It's just we have to know that he's still a first-year starter.
Well, and the thing is, the one thing he does like elite right now, pocket presence.
Absolutely.
The difference between him and Quinn Ewers pocket presence wise is night and day. Like that's what we begged for Quinn to have. Like he has that. He's had that since the Ohio State game. I know he wasn't great in that game, but the one thing he did have was pocket presence. He knew when to escape the pocket. He knows when to step up in the pocket. He knows when to roll out left or right in the pocket. Like he's really, really good in the pocket.
And he's a good playmaker too when he gets out of the pocket. Yeah. Unlike Quinn, who couldn't do nothing really.
I was gonna say there were some times where I honestly wanted him to tuck it and run, and he ended up actually like holding up at the line of scrimmage and delivering something downfield. Like I think you mentioned his progression, B. Ross, like the watching him mature into again an effective quarterback has been absolutely incredible. And you mentioned Trey Wisner. I hope there's nobody on this earth that hates me as much as Trey Wisner very clearly hates OU. Something happens in that man when he shows up in the Cotton Bowl. I don't know. Like he was the heart and soul of the team today. Like dude was just.
Well, it's not just OU. He hates the rivals. He look what he did versus Texas A&M. So he just hates all the rivals. It's shot right in his veins.
I mean, none of them offered him, right? None of them offered him. So take it out on him.
I don't think so. Yeah.
I want to say we talked about Arch Manning and the progression. He's been getting better week in and week out. What makes me excited about Arch is, man, like Quinn Ewers was a shell of himself his first year at Texas and then to his last year. Like he just got better and better and better. Arch Manning's at least a 3-year project for Texas. I don't think he's going to be gone this year. I don't think he'll be gone next year. So what makes me excited is I think we're going to be a good team this year. I don't know if we're going to make the playoffs or win the SEC championship or anything like that, but I'm excited for next year to see the growth of Arch. everything that's happening to him now, all the struggles, all the mess that's going on in the media is just going to make him a better player. By the time next year we get a better offensive line, more experience with Wingo and some other these pieces, I think the sky's the limit for this young quarterback because he's going through a lot right now and he's pushing through it. I thought last week, despite how horrendous the game was, I thought he fought and kept pushing. So it excites me quite a bit.
When everyone is basically going to come back next year too. Like we're going to lose at 2, maybe 3 offensive line, maybe 3 if Trevor leaves early, but you're going to return probably 60%. Yeah, you're probably returning 60% of your offensive line. You're going to return every one of your wide receivers. Maybe DeAndre Moore leaves, but I don't think so at this point. And then every one of your running backs unless Trey Wisner leaves. So, I mean, this is going to be like I always thought like next year was the year Texas should win the national championship, like talent-wise, because you're going to have most of these guys returning. Even on defense, you have a lot of guys returning other than Ant Hill and Malik Muhammad. But
big losses. And Taft.
I know they are, but Taft too. But you're going to have a lot on offense, a lot returning on offense.
Yeah, they're going to have to be pretty aggressive in the portal, in my opinion, on defense and offensive line still, to replace those guys.
Yeah. Let's go over to this. What does this mean for Texas? Gerald, I'll start off with you. What do you think this means for Texas moving forward?
I mean, I think it means confidence, right? They needed a shot in the arm after what happened last week. You're never as bad as your worst days and you're never as good as your best days, right? You're somewhere in the middle of that. And so I think being able to look and say, hey, like we can play, we can ball, we are who we thought we were. Because again, if this defensive line unit shows up this week for the rest of the season, like this is going to be an elite defense. If Arch Manning is able to operate in the offense like he did today, if the offensive line is able to just look like just not suck, like this is going to be a solid team for the rest of the year. Like I think they gave them some confidence. It kind of showed them like, okay, I am who I am. Like there's something. It's like the haircut theory, right? You're not feeling yourself, and then you go get a haircut and you walk out and you're like, oh yeah, I am absolutely incredible. And I think this was like a haircut game for them. Like I think they're going to walk out of this feeling better about themselves. They're probably going to beat the crap out of Kentucky next week, and so they're going to be riding pretty high and feeling good. And confidence is a key and a killer when it comes to a talented team.
Oh, touche. Very well said. I actually think this game means they learned how to win. Because in terms of like how we're going to have to win this year, I think this is the formula, right? But that's not saying that we can't score 35 points or, like we can't not have a turnover and win the game. But I think this just shows us, okay, this is our formula to win. This is who we are as a team. This is who we kind of have. This is how we have to operate at a foundational level to win games, to go in Georgia and beat Georgia. We have to officially run the ball, not turn it over, create turnover. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it sounds so boring because it's very cliche. Run the ball, stop the run, turnovers, right? But like that's how we have to play. And I think this game teaches them how to win, how to have a complementary game and a complete game in all 3 phases. That that's something that that we haven't done yet. And to do it versus your biggest rivalry, like I think we can take this going forward when games are tough or things aren't going our way. We can hang our head on. This is who we are. This is what we're going to do. We're going to run the ball. We're going to be big up front. We're going to play nasty, and we're going to pressure the quarterback any way that we need to. So, if anything, it was a lesson for those younger guys who played a little last year, knew how to win, but all we knew was blowouts. We knew how to win big games and a couple close ones versus teams that we should have blew out. So, I think this year it teaches them how to win and how to win in the toughest conference in all of college football.
Yeah, I think B-Ross said it well, and I also think Joe said it well too. I'll say this: I think this team found out they have a spine. They have a great culture, as we all know, but they have a spine. There's a spine to this team. I talked about it in the beginning of the live stream. This team was tested, put through the gutter. I mean, just unranked, #1 team in the country, week 1, unranked, and you got the Athletic. I've talked about it a couple of times, putting out that BS article on Arch Manning, and they responded, right? They responded well in this game, and that to me was the biggest thing that comes out of this game. This team is not soft. This team is, and we kept talking about discipline too. They showed they have some discipline a little bit. This was a game where 5 total penalties on Texas, most of them coming in the first drive. So this team, I think they showed they have a little bit of some moxie to them, a little bit of response and a spine to them that we haven't quite seen in a couple years now, because we really haven't been tested that much. I mean, we've been winning so many games, and when you lose one, you go up against a bad team the following week, you just respond. So with this young group of core players we have now, Arch, Wingo, Wisner, Simmons, Hill, all these guys, this game to me helped to continue to prove the point that Texas has a strong culture. There's real thing with this Texas fight thing, and the team has a spine.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a cultural win because we've seen, let's see, the 3 heavy favorites to win the national championship this year were Clemson, Penn State, and Texas. 2 of those teams got off the mat. Penn State completely quit today on their team. Like, James Franklin's going to get fired. And obviously, if we lose this game, Steve Sarkisian's not going to be fired. But he talks about culture all the time. And was this culture, built of a house of cards, or was it like the Great Wall of China? It's not going to blow over so easily. You don't know about your culture until you actually lose football games. You go through adversity. It's very easy to be front runners to go 11-1 back-to-back playoffs and be culture. When you're 3-2, looking at the end of what this was going to be the end of the season, basically, of going to the SEC championship game if we lose this game, because we were 0-2. We lose another one. Obviously, it's over. And I didn't see this team running it from here on out if they lost this game. But guess what? They showed up. They showed they were ready to fight. They took the fight to Oklahoma, and the culture stood tall. And I think also, too, this is a big win long-term with this rivalry. Out of the last 4 years, Oklahoma's now lost this rivalry 3 times. I think this is going to be a big problem for Brent Venables psychologically. It's kind of the same thing with Ryan Day and Ohio State versus Michigan. Once it starts to happen over and over, he's going to hear the noise. You're going to believe it at some point. Oklahoma recruits are going to believe it at some point, and you're not scoring any touchdowns in this game. So short-term, really good. Long-term, really good versus a rival.
First time since Colt McCoy, back-to-back wins. First time since Colt McCoy, back-to-back wins. Like, that's the significance of it. I think you're right, Matthew.
Yeah. Another thing, too, is Texas was the home team, so they had all the visitors of recruiting here today. Had to feel good after last week to finally get all those guys back into the building and say, this is who we are. Not that team last week. This team right here is who we are. That was a really good sign for this team.
I think to your point, Matthew, like, it's the ability to get back up and like keep finding like the culture, to your point, was tested last week and all of this week leading to this game. Because honestly, that game wasn't as close as the score showed. They beat us in every facet, every way. And to bounce back like this, and it was the response in terms of like how physical and how fast we played. Michael Taft, my innate issue with him as a safety was he's very hesitant. Last week on the touchdown run, he didn't trigger. He's been playing very hesitant and just kind of slow. I don't think he is slow. I think he played slow. This week, he was just flying around, throwing his body all over the place. Like, he got a sack. Like,
beautiful.
He was moving so fast, the guard had no choice but to push him into the quarterback. He trips him up and he celebrates on the ground. It's like the intensity and the culture is kind of laid out. But just how these guys fought back mentally, because there's no way you're Arch Manning and you don't hear all this noise. You know what I mean? And like, his teammates hear that noise. And to me, like, they play so much better when people are just like, oh, Texas isn't this, Arch isn't this, Sark isn't this. They're like, okay. And they just stood up to it. That's why I hope we keep being the hunter, because this team right now is going to thrive in that role.
I think that's a Sark thing too, because if you look at the losses of his era, we were always the team that, they should win this game easily. Like, look at the first Georgia game. Everyone was pumping up Texas, saying Texas is going to easily beat Georgia. We got destroyed in that game. Yep. In the college football playoff, same thing versus Washington. Texas should easily beat Washington. Washington comes in, beats us. Well, Red River rivalry a couple years ago when Oklahoma did get that one victory under Brent Venables, same thing. Dylan Gabriel and those guys have no shot. They're not going to beat Texas. They beat us. It really is. For whatever reason, you're right. Like, this team plays better when no one says, hey, Texas is going to easily win this football game. When we're the hunter, we're better. Now, going forward, you're going to have to be that team that when you're hunting plays good football, because those teams, the hunter rarely wins national championship. The hunted usually does win the national championship. Yep. So we're going to have to flip that narrative at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I think about I was on campus for the 2005 national championship, and I think about like that team, I had, classes with some players, and you have to be able to be the bully to be a national championship team. You have to be able, you get the media answers. I did sports media, and you get the media answers. I'm like, oh yeah, we treat every opponent with respect.
Right.
And then I talked to a dude in class on Monday, and he was like, we were betting on how quickly we would be out of the game. Like that's the attitude that they have. Like, how badly can we beat these dudes? Like, that's eventually you have to flip that switch if you want to be the elite of the elite, which is what Texas expects to do.
Do you guys think this game is like a slingshot game where Texas gets just a wave of momentum now, and that as we start to get towards the bigger games, this game is just sort of like the launching off point of where Texas could end up this year?
I would say yes. Just because, again, like, I think this game teaches them so much in terms of how to handle playing through emotion early in the game, and, how to win, how to get through all the skirmishes and the penalties. Like, we were backed up in our own red zone after that 15-yard penalty, and we just kept playing. They just kept playing. And so I do think this game is a slingshot game, and it will help propel us in certain games this year where we might be outmatched.
I mean, you win this game, you've got Kentucky on the road next week. That you don't want to count easy W's, but that should, Texas should win that game. Mississippi State on the road is going to be tough. And then Vanderbilt before the bye. Like, if Texas goes into the bye sitting at 7-2, like they have the entire destiny of the SEC in their hands in that last, 3 games. So, that to me, if they can use what they learned today to look like a similar team in the next 3 games, they go into a bye, they've got 2 weeks to prep for Georgia, and then you come out and you play well, and even if you beat Georgia, that's a team that's getting, national championship buzz again. So I think you're absolutely right. This could be very well a springboard, especially with the fact that they should be able to take care of business over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think it can be. Next week's going to tell me a lot, because Kentucky to me is the one team in the SEC where I don't think it shouldn't be close. You should blow them out. And if you don't blow them out, then the questions are going to come back in my head of, was last week just an anomaly? That's because, again, Kentucky is the one team literally on the SEC schedule. I'm like, every team should beat that team. That team is not good offensively. They're not good defensively. They don't really have anything that scares you on either side of the ball. They don't have that, Deion Walker on the interior like they did last year. They don't have one of those quarterbacks that can run around and make plays. They really, really struggle. So Texas should beat that team down. And then, like you said, Gerald, I said at the beginning of the year, either Kentucky or Mississippi State is going to be a lot harder game than we think. That Mississippi State game is going to be super interesting going down there and playing.
Damn cowbells.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about
go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say the interesting thing right now is you look at the SEC. Georgia's down 7-0 to Auburn right now, with Auburn having the football. Ole Miss has Georgia, and they got Oklahoma, and they got Florida. It just kind of feels like the SEC is going to almost cannibalize itself and allow a team like, a Texas or somebody who's a 2-loss team to make their way to a potential title game, which is just crazy to think about.
Yeah, I mean, what next week game should look like, to your point, Matthew, it should be a blowout, but not in the traditional sense. I don't think we go beat them 35-10.
No,
I think a blowout to us, it's gonna be 24-0. It'll be it'll be very slugfest, and it'll look ugly by all accounts because it won't be a very high scoring game. But when you look at the numbers should say we dominated them. So just because how I think this team has to win, this game opened my eyes. Okay, this is our formula. And I think if we keep that formula where defense run the ball, if to your point, you said it, I want to say it was after the Ohio State game, 20 points is our spot. If we get to 20 points, we can beat just about anybody in the country. Now, if it becomes a shootout, we have to keep scoring. That's where I would be worried. But I do think next week will tell me more, just in terms of, one, how we handle success. We haven't seen this team handle success. Everything has been turmoil, from losing to Ohio State and then playing very inconsistently over the next 4 or 5 weeks versus lesser opponents. So how we handle this win will tell me a lot more than than this actual win.
And listen, Kentucky, their home environment is underrated. Like you see teams all the time going there and struggle. So again, I agree. I don't expect 35-0, but can you give me 24-7, 24-3 and dominate the lines of scrimmage? You do that, I'm perfectly fine with that.
This is an interesting comment. He said OU is so screwed. Do you guys think it's possible OU like ends up going less than 8 wins this year?
I'm trying to pull up their schedule.
I'm looking at it right now. Say, Ole Miss.
I think 8-4 is what I was thinking for them.
So with John Mateer's injury, I don't know.
I don't know why he played today. I'm sorry. He took a helmet to the hand. Like you can lose this game and still win the SEC. Like if he's out for multiple games, like they've got South Carolina, that's hit or miss, but Ole Miss, Tennessee, at Alabama, rivalry game against Missouri. Like
they have a bye before Ole Miss though, don't they?
They do.
No, they have a bye. They have a bye before.
Bama. They have a bye before Tennessee. Yeah, Bama.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they could very even their go into, they could go like 6-3 into the bye. Like it's very possible.
I mean, their wins this year are against Michigan, who has a freshman quarterback in his second game of his career.
Illinois State,
Auburn, who
they barely beat Auburn
offense, and they barely beat him. Probably should have lost that game. Jackson Arnold had several big shots available.
Yep.
Full transparency. I need them to get to 9-3, so if Brent Venables stays around another year,
I want them to win too.
Well, yeah, his buyout's high enough. He'll be around another year because they posted the buyouts of all the top coaches. James Franklin is sitting at like 59 million, somewhere like that. So
if Oklahoma goes,
Venables is a little bit higher. So
if Oklahoma goes 7-4 would that be, or 7-5?
7-5.
I don't see how they keep them. I think.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the line for me too. I think 7-5 or worse. I think there's a real chance he gets fired. If they go 8-4, they'll give him another year.
What? I don't know.
What's I don't think they go 8 now. That's I don't. That's what I need to know. How's Oil doing right now?
True.
Toss up game. Well, their next 2 games.
I think they're going to lose the
best chance of winning. I do too. I'm with you. I think they can beat Ole Miss because I don't think Ole Miss is that good.
I don't think
but those last 4, like if we ran the ball like that,
or Bama,
I think they can beat LSU.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's fair. I don't think they beat Missouri.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah. That would, by the way, that would piss off the fan base. They hate Missouri, and losing to Missouri and Texas in the same year.
And Bama.
Yeah, I think Bama would be fine because you beat them last year when you shouldn't. So they'll just be like, this year they got us. Yeah.
Sure, that is true.
I don't think they get the 8 wins.
It's a bad loss for Oklahoma. It's a bad
They're 5-1 now, right?
Yeah, 5-1.
The worst thing about this is that their star quarterback got exposed. It's tough.
He got exposed. I would be shocked if he didn't re-injure that finger. I would be shocked if he didn't re-injure that finger.
It's definitely not feeling good.
My spidey senses started going off when the 3-week bounce back was the line, and it's just like in real talk. It sucks to lose this game in this rivalry, but you could lose this game and John Mateer come back on the back end and crack off a run and still play for the SEC. Like it's. The coach has got to protect a player from himself and a team from a player. Like that's just.
Well, I think there's a lot of pressure on Venables. I feel like this was almost in his brain almost a must-win in some ways. I mean, going back-to-back years against losing to Texas and with how bad it was last year.
Yeah, 3 out of the last 4 years now you've scored 0 touchdowns.
Making it to the SEC championship game. I lived in Oklahoma for more than a decade. Like if lose to Texas but make the SEC championship game, I think they'd have been fine.
Yes.
Well, and Josh, you asked the question, should they have played Hawkins? I think the answer is what they did. in what they did. Like, they don't trust Michael Hawkins. They don't think he's a very good quarterback. They would rather have John Mateer at 70% than Michael Hawkins at 100%.
That's why you need who's a Texas backup quarterback? Caldwell. That's why you need a Matthew Caldwell. They should have got Matthew Caldwell. That would have been fine.
That's why you always keep two on your roster.
Trey Owens may transfer there. They may snag Trey Owens.
Well, if Arch is a 3-year guy, Trey's going to have to find another team probably. Which I think he's super talented, by the way. That's going to suck.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, I will always love Trey Owens because he came off of an injury and dragged it all over my high school rival. So I really appreciate him for that. So he's always in my book. Go be great somewhere, young man.
I also just don't think he fits the Sark system, honestly. I think he's more of a spread it out type quarterback. Like if Texas Tech was kind of what they're doing, what they used to do, especially back in the day, spread it out 5 wide, sling it all over the yard type quarterback.
That could be wise to go get him.
And there's
I don't know. They have some good quarterbacks.
They do. I think the thing about Trey, and we're going to turn into Trey Owens and Gus Fresh because I really do love this kid. The kind of kid that is the quarterback in the year after Arch Manning. Like what kind of competitor are you? Like just said, I'm the quarterback in the cycle after the heir apparent, and I'm going to come in and just compete. And he came in and competed. Like shouts to him. Like, but yeah, go somewhere and be great.
It's going to be tough for Texas to recruit these high-end 5-star quarterbacks. It's like, okay, we got Arch for at least probably another year, maybe 2 years. Then we got KJ Lacey, who's going to be the starter, you have to assume. And then 5-star Diabell's coming to town, and he's, 2026? Yeah. So if you're a 2027 quarterback, if I'm a 5-star, I'm like, I might not want to pick Texas, but I mean, I'm not throwing that out there. I hope they do pick Texas.
So the only thing that's working for Texas, and it works at multiple positions, is that they go to the league.
Yep.
They develop. They go to the NFL. They like Texas right now in terms of like how they put out players and have them sit. Like it's rare that like good guys don't transfer, but they're showing you that if you stay and do what we're telling you, you'll get your opportunity. You only need 2 years. You'll go to the NFL. And that's what, as a coach, that's what I will sit down and tell this kid and the parent. Listen, yes, he's going to sit. But with that, 1, he's getting paid. 2, he's going to have a chance to develop and learn the system and play against one of the best defenses every week in practice as a scout team quarterback. And he's going to develop. He's going to get better. And then this is the timeline for the guy in front of him. He wants to go, boom, boom, boom. You're next up. You're going to have 2 to 3 years and the same plans for you. We're going to bring the 5-star in behind you. Like they're telling these kids ahead of time that we're bringing in another 5-star behind you. That's not a secret. So it should help them actually keep getting 5 stars because especially if Quinn Ewers at some point he will be playing in Miami for the Dolphins because let's just put that out there because never mind. Anyway, and then Arch is going to be a high draft pick and hopefully he has some success in NFL because then it looks like, oh, what is Texas doing with quarterbacks? Why they keep getting 5 stars and then they turn out to stay. It'd be what Bama was doing, hoarding all the quarterbacks.
And I think the progression we're seeing from Arch now is how you sell them because it's you don't have to come in and be the savior. You don't have to come in and turn around the program. You can come in and be a college kid for 2 years. You can come, and there are guys that want to come in and be the savior, but I think there are guys who know, and I'm going to say this, and there's a difference between your average 5-star player and a guy like Diabell, whose dad played high-level professional sports, right? Like those kinds of guys who understand what it takes to make the next level are not the kind of families that want their kid to be the guy with all the pressure on the shoulders. This is why the Mannings wanted him to come sit behind Quinn Ewers. It's why the Bells have Dia coming to sit behind Arch Manning for at least a year, if not 2, right? Like those are frankly, they get it. And families that get it are the kinds of families that Sark wants because they're not problems, right? When you're talking about creating culture, you got to think about the families too. The families are going to be in the facilities. You're going to have parents on social media. Hell, Jonte Cook's uncle called into a coach's show last week complaining about Jonte Cook's play. right? Like you've got Brendan. We talk about Mississippi State. Brendan Thompson's mom tweeting
Oh my God.
through 2 different school breakups. Like those are the kinds of things that, like, when you have parents that get it, those are the kinds of folks that Sark wants in the Longhorn family, to use that term.
Well, there's 2 types of parents. When the kid picks up the phone and say, "Mom, I'm not getting playing time. It's not my fault." Some parents will say, "Kick rocks, have fun, stick it out." The other parents say, "Oh, it's never your fault, honey. It's never your fault." And that's the type of, like you were talking about, Gerald, with culture. And Josh, you'll get your answer very soon. Kavian Bryant's going to make a decision within the next month.
I know.
2027 class. And it's either going to be Texas Tech or Texas. Yeah, it's going to be Texas Tech or Texas. And the money's probably pretty close. So does he want to play early or does he want to sit and be developed? You'll get your answer very soon.
If you're a recruit who wants to come to Texas, just be prepared for the Athletic to drop an article on you once you have one bad game. It's going to be a yearly tradition.
I mean, Diabell too, like the Cover 3 podcast, he had an interview and he said, they asked him about Arch and he said, they told me I'm sitting at least 1 year and I'm cool with that. Like he's going to be here and I'm cool.
That's, I mean, like, and to your point, Drew,
the ones that get it,
it's ones who get it. Those are the ones you want in your building. And well, more so, that's the family you want representing your quarterback, who's the face of your organization. Like
look at Nico.
That helps. Yeah.
Yeah, look at Nico. As long as Texas has Steve Sarkisian, they're not going to start a freshman at quarterback. So if you're a recruit, you just got to be aware of that.
Which
100%.
I mean, which is, to me, that's the way to go about it. I think all quarterbacks should sit. I think all quarterbacks should sit at every level. They should always sit.
Yep.
But that's a whole nother conversation.
You're making Bryce Underwood money. Was that $15 million a year?
Forced to play him. Forced to play him.
Yeah, I was going to say they have no one else worth anything.
True.
So.
Well, and that's why I love how Texas does it, because the worst time to get a quarterback is when you need a quarterback, because then you screw the kid, because the kid's usually not ready. And even if he is, he's going to have so many bumps and bruises where his confidence might take a hit or he won't know how to respond. Whereas a place like Texas, where you always have a quarterback, you don't never technically need one because you always have guys. That way, when it's their time to play, granted, they'll have bumps and bruises, but it won't be at the same level. Like it protects your program long term to always just keep quarterbacks in your building, like good ones in your building, to where when you think you need one, you have one, opposed to needing one and then you're going to the portal and we're going to get dudes who we wouldn't even want being our backup, but because we need one, and that's what I mean.
You're convincing yourself that Oregon State's quarterback is going to win the Heisman.
Jesus, God, who's going to win the Heisman?
Or Washington
Heisman favorites?
Oh man,
Heisman favorites. 3.
Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
It was Dante Moore, but he had a bad game. Oh, yeah. Fernando Mendoza, probably.
Mendoza, yeah.
And then I think, honestly, unfortunately, I don't think he deserves it, but I think Julian Sain's probably in there.
Yeah. Oh, hell. I think Marcel Reed could get his name in there just because of his play style.
Possibly. Or if Mario Craver keeps going off, he could.
They ain't going to give it to a receiver.
I know, but I like, let's be honest here. I think the best player in football, like Mario Cristobal said, I think Ruben Bain is the best player in college football.
No doubt.
He would be my front runner right now.
No doubt.
He's a beast.
No doubt.
Well, Gerald, when you said Oregon State, I laughed because there's someone named Rude Wayne or whatever on Texas Twitter that told me Malik Murphy was going to be great at Duke, great at Oregon State, great at Texas. And Malik Murphy has not been great at any of those spots, by the way. So that's why I laughed at that, because
I meant to say Washington State. I love Malik Murphy as a person. He is not that.
Oh, I love him as a person too, but
it's been a thing.
Yeah. Again, guys, Texas beats Oklahoma 23-6. A nice old-fashioned butt whooping in the Cotton Bowl. Again, guys, please hit that like button. Please subscribe down below. And join us every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern time or 8 p.m. Eastern time both days, Monday and Tuesday. So please do that. Also, check out each and every one of our socials. This is mine right there. That is my X account. Please give me a follow. This is Gerald's X, Blue Sky, and also his Longhorn Pod, which you can find on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, wherever you can find your podcast. Check it out. This is Josh's X, as well as his YouTube channel, which go and check it out if you like the NFL. He covers a lot of NFL over there, does a really good job. And this is B. Ross right there, IG, TikTok, and X. give him a follow. He is streaming quite a bit college football. Are you still doing that, B. Ross?
Oh yeah, I was kicking ass the day before the game started. I was running through people with Texas.
Well, hey, it was good luck to do that before every game because Texas ran through OU. Again, guys, 23-6. We will be here next week after Kentucky and every week after that post game, and also Monday and Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And as always, guys, hook 'em.
The hat stays home.